All right. Well, welcome everybody to our Teaching Spark series. This is the very first one for the 2024-2025 school year. And today is all about the AI fundamentals. And we are going to dig into my favorite thing, artificial intelligence and creating prompts and critical evaluation with the FLUF framework. Thanks for joining me today. If you have not had a chance to enter your attendance or grab a copy of the handout, I have put that in the chat. But because we're limited on time, and you guys know these Spark series are really quick ideas, quick thoughts, and opportunities for you guys to give us your thoughts on this, if it sparked an interest or not. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm Dr. Jennifer Parker. I am a faculty development coordinator here at the Center for Teaching Excellence at the University of Florida. I am very excited to have been a part of many of the AI initiatives here on campus and the faculty learning communities. And one of the things that I noticed, because of maybe the librarian hat that I wore at one time in my career, was that there really was a lack of opportunities for us to engage in information literacy or critical evaluation of our AI results. And as I moved through every opportunity of engaging in dialogue about AI, it seemed like there were less and less of us happy with the results, but we really kind of were struggling with pinpointing what is it that we don't like. And then it would always lead to, how can we have better prompts, or how can we get better results? And that led to, hey, better prompts. And so today what I'm going to share with you is the FLUF test, or the FLUF framework, that I created as a result of many of these conversations and some research that I've been working on. And we'll dig into how you can use this FLUF test framework to build a better prompt and get better results in your AI generations. And so one of the places that you can go for more information is on my website, but let's go ahead and just dig into what the FLUF test really is about. So prior to artificial intelligence, most of us got a pretty quick schooling on the fact that we needed to critique what was online. Way back in the day, I know I'm dating myself, but it used to be, oh, the internet's bad, don't use it, let's filter it, let's block it, let's keep people off of it. And then we empowered our students and ourselves with these frameworks that helped us critique what we found online. Things like the CRAP test. If you've never heard of the CRAP test has been out there forever. Well, 2004. CRAP test is a pretty basic framework that asks us to critique an online resource based on currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. These frameworks have been out here for a minute. And we've used them, and maybe you haven't used them, but they've always been there for us to kind of use to guide our critique of online resources. So where we need to head now is, with it moving beyond a Google search and having to critique it, we're now moving to the use of AI to generate information in a quick and friendly way. And how do we get a better result? Well, we know that what it took to Google something. Now, what does it take to generate something with AI? And so that's where the FLUF test comes into play. So when you think about FLUF, notice there's only one F. FLUF is our natural, inquisitive, innovative, and creative side, looking at those results saying, not quite sure that that's right. And it's kind of like what we've kind of schooled ourselves with our Google results. That's not quite what I intended when I Googled that. Or maybe that's not exactly what I was hoping for. The goal is you're trying to use your creative side, your innovative side, to get better results. So here's what FLUF looks like. FLUF is where you got an issue with the format in an AI generative result. It might be you wanted an essay, or you wanted an outline. You could also have language issues where that targets tone or phrasing or repetition. You may also have an issue with how usable it is. You're checking for credibility. Like, I'm not so sure Wikipedia is a good source, and why did AI include that in the results? Or maybe it's not consistent. It's coming from resources all over the place. And then the F stands for fanfare. Was this result for the right audience? They're not using the right language. That's not how doctors talk. That's not how a teacher or a college professor would talk. So FLUF is when you prompt your AI tool and it generates results and you critique it and you find you're looking for formatting, language, usability, and fanfare in your results. Because your natural brain is going to say, not really sure. Is that perfect? Is it what I was intending, and is it right? So to kind of extend it a little bit further, here's an example of what FLUF looks like. FLUF is an infraction. A formatting error would be, I got an outline and I wanted an essay, or I need 350 words and it's only 700. A language error might be, I'm looking at these results and it keeps repeating itself. There's tons of repetition here. Or it's talking like it's to a third grader. Usability infractions might be, wow, there's a ton of hallucinations here. I don't know where they got their sources, but this cannot be right. And then the last one is fanfare. They are not talking to the right audience. I really wanted this prompt to talk to my students. So it's written for the wrong audience. Now, the issue with when we have FLUF is it all comes back to you. You should have written a better prompt. And so creating better prompts is how we reduce the fluff. And here's an example on how you can fluff your prompts. When you go into a ChatGPT and you tell it to create a syllabus outline, I've been pretty specific here by telling it I want a syllabus in an outline format. When I tell it the type of language, I might say in a professional tone or in French or, and for usability, I may ask it to look for peer-reviewed literature or pull from this specific article or make sure there are only valid and reliable sources in the result. And for fanfare, when you're working on your prompt, you can say who the audience is. I want you to create this for a grad level program in higher ed, in ed tech, or in whatever it is that you're teaching. So by being more specific in the format, language, usability, and fanfare in your prompts, including that information, you're going to get a way better result. So here's an example of the template that you guys have access to. And I'll just put this in the put it in the chat box. This is an example of the template. Now the template has an opportunity for you to just think through when you're new to using AI, you need to kind of think through what all needs to go in that prompt. Now, are you going to use the template every time once you get really good at this? Probably not, because you're going to know what you're looking for. But as you're getting started with writing good prompts, you need to be thinking about what is the format, language, usability, and fanfare. And you also might want to include who, what, where, when, why, and how. An example of that would be here. Who, I'm trying to get a syllabus, and I want you to create this in a role of a college professor. It's a syllabus at the University of Florida. It's fall of 2024. Here's the class I'm teaching. It's in a hybrid and face-to-face format. And I'd like you to correct the format, the language, usability, and fanfare is all laid out here. So once I've kind of thought those things through, I can craft this prompt here down at the bottom that I can just paste into my ChatGPT tool and see what it comes up with. Because the good prompts will have, some basics, But a great prompt will really take it to the next level, have all the information involved, and really allow you to get a great result in your AI tool. So as we think about those prompts, you still might have an issue. You still might have to regenerate because fluff can happen everywhere. The example on the left is in text. Even though this vet med professor asked it to, create a treatment plan for a dog that presents with a rattlesnake bite, that is not what we get here. We get a result from AI telling it to give rattlesnake vaccine, which the veterinarian was really quick to tell me that there is no such thing as that. And it's not proven and reliable. It's just something some marketing company came up with and thought was a great idea to make money. So here we come back to, we've got some fluff. We've got a usability issue. This information is not accurate. It's a hallucination. We don't know where they got it. I mean, yeah, it's out on the web, but is it true? So you've got a usability issue. So maybe when you reprompt, you would say something like, use only scientifically proven research. That would be your additional regeneration or reprompt. Now over here on the right, we've got an example of you prompting an AI tool to generate an image of students in a boat. However, what do you notice about the picture?
Got a few
Go ahead.
too many.
Go ahead. Yep.
Oh, a few too many legs going on there.
Yeah, way too many legs going on. What else have we got?
There's an oar that doesn't go through the boat.
Yep. Or that goes through the boat. Where is this guy sitting? I don't even know. So you're going to get fluff in images and text. You just got to use your brain to critique it. What's the format, the language, the usability, and the fanfare? I think this image is not, definitely for sure, this image has some definite issues. So it's not useful for me for sure. I don't know what audience it was for. I don't know. There's so many things wrong with that image. It's definitely got fluff. So the way you use the second page of the template that I shared with you is you can actually fluff test your results. So the way the fluff test works is you're going to look at your AI generative results and you're going to find the infractions. And you're going to look for, this example is I have a paper that is not the right length and it doesn't have good resources. So I've dinged it and I've given it a score of 2. But the goal is to have 0 fluff. So if you've got infractions, what do we naturally need to do? Reprompt, regenerate, repeat. Because if you don't have if you don't have 0 fluff, you're going to reprompt, you're going to regenerate, and you're going to repeat until you get 0 fluff. And that's kind of the premise of the whole thing going on. So I'll pause here for a second and I'll ask for your thoughts so far on fluff. What are some things that make sense? Or what comments might you have about fluff in general? These sessions are meant to spark your curiosity or spark something inside you. What do you think?
So in terms of credibility, I mean, you happen to know off the top of your head that there was no rattlesnake vaccine, but maybe I didn't know that. So it seems like it's not well defined how to verify every stage here,
And so when you're looking at credibility, you're looking at the U for usefulness or usability, and you're looking for valid and reliable resources, you have to prompt it to tell it that. because your AI tool is just going to go out on the web from that capture of whenever in 2023 or wherever, whatever version you're using, and it's going to find everything. So if you don't prompt it to say, I just want scientifically proven results, or I just want peer-reviewed literature, or I just want information from journals published in 2024 from the Academy of Science, you have to be very specific. So you raise a really good point. How do I know it's credible? Well, you're going to tell your AI tool to look in the right place.
Does at some point it become so specific that it would be easier to look through yourself?
You could, but that's very time consuming. The goal of AI is to give you your Sundays back so you can sit at the pool or watch the football game.
One of the tools that I use is I always ask for valid references, and I find that about 80% of them end up being valid, but not necessarily what I'm looking for. So the better prompts helps with that. But remember, it's about 80% accurate. So the idea of no fluff to me is at where we are now with AI. I don't know that it's possible.
Exactly, because there's a whole lot of crap on the web. And there was a whole lot of crap on the internet way before we had AI to suck it all out and put it in an AI tool for us to kind of play with. So, you know, you can't help the Wikipedias and the fake news and all of that of the world. You're hoping that the ChatGPTs will only pull information from good sources, but in reality, we know that's not possible. And that's where that human component comes into play. And I like that you said 80%. I adhere to, and I talk about it all the time when I'm talking AI, I really adhere to that 80-20 rule, that Pareto principle, where I think my students are going to grab 80%. I mean, 80% of the information is already out there. I want them to use 20% of their brain to critique it, to synthesize it, to summarize it, to tell me how they used it. Because we can all Google it and we can all ChatGPT it, but what do you do with those results is that 20% creativity piece that I want from my students. So that's kind of I know that's a side, I went on a little side rant there, but that's the 80-20 that I embrace. Any thoughts on that? Okay. Well, let's continue. A couple of things. I want to throw a couple of things else in here to maybe spark your creativity. We talked a little bit about the 80-20 rule and some ideas to create authentic projects. If everybody can just jump in and create a prompt and find information, what are we asking them to do with it? One of the ideas that we've been talking about here in Center for Teaching Excellence is the iSearch paper. Is anyone familiar with the iSearch paper? Okay, well, I'll share with you just a great idea to kind of take it beyond the prompt building and the critiquing with the fluff. A process that you might take your students through is the iSearch process. An iSearch paper is a paper, a formal paper that students write where they tell you all about their research process. So rather than telling me all about economics in Uganda, I want you to, you can Google it, you can ChatGPT it to find information about economics in Uganda, but tell me about your process. How did you get information about economics in Uganda? So this paper process walks them through an iSearch paper. It walks them through, hey, critically evaluating your online sources. It asks them to use AI and FLUF test their results. And then it finally says, type a paper for me that tells me about your experience. Here is a QR code for the template. You've also got that in your handout, which I did share in the notes document. But the basics of an iSearch paper And obviously APA 7th edition or Chicago style or MLA, whatever formatting guide you live in, you're still going to give them these major topics. Tell me what you're studying. Tell me what you want to know or what you want to learn. Tell me about your search, how you used Google, how you used AI. Tell me what you found. Tell me what the critique experience was like. Did you crap test it? Did you fluff test it? What did you find? And then tell me about your growth in this journey of learning about economics in Uganda. And then they put in their works cited, including I used ChatGPT for this information. And it's more a journey of them learning about using it and telling you about it rather than a gotcha for you were cheating, you were using ChatGPT. So it's kind of a shift in your paradigm to more, and it also provides an opportunity for more authentic products from your students. When I taught a class this last week, I asked, how many of you have used AI this week? Almost all the hands went up. We're all going to use it. It's a tool. It's a new tool. Everybody is experimenting with it, but we want to find better ways to use it and better ways to use it with our students. So this is an opportunity for you to think about an authentic product and a way to get your students using AI in a better way. And so lastly, I think our mission is accomplished. I hope that you've learned a little bit about prompt writing and the importance of fluff and the importance of critiquing your results and that human element, how we can scale things up when we're using tools like AI to get better results, looking at the format, the language, the usability, and the fanfare, and figuring out what we need to reprompt or regenerate to really get us to that final mission accomplished, a good result that we can then take and use for something like an iSearch paper, a formal report, an email, a syllabus, or whatever. So with that said, I will open up the floor to comments, thoughts, concerns, creative ideas, or requests for me to maybe demo something. Otherwise, go out and grab a quick lunch, and thanks for being on today. Judy, do you have a question?
No, just thank you. It was very helpful.
You're welcome. Thanks for being on today, everybody.